Hello to my friends at Líder de Proyectos. My name is Eddie Merla, and I'm a presenter at the PM Tour 2012. I wanted to address a couple of things that I feel very passionate about. First, let me give you a little bit of my background. I own a company in Texas, in the United States, and it's a company that provides seminars. We teach. One of the things that we focus on is a topic that's fairly new to project management. It's called Agile project management. It's fairly new, it's very innovative, and it's very exciting. Also in my company, we provide consulting services to help companies get started with that type of approach to project management. Why I think it's so important and so relevant to individuals in companies in Mexico is because this is another opportunity to provide some benefit to your clients, provide benefit as leaders, and become more agile as leaders. So my approach isn't to recommend that you take on agile project management as a practice. I recommend, in my talk at the PM Tour, I focus on you, the individual, you, the leader. And as the leader, you have an opportunity to make things happen sooner. And that's what Agile is all about. Get benefit sooner, get your ideas out sooner, make your ideas reality. And the concepts that I talk about deal with that. First, there has to be a shift in thinking. You have to think differently, you have to feel differently, you have to act differently. As leaders, we are always asked to provide leadership to our teams. We have many complex projects to work on, and the approach that Agile provides, this Agile-minded approach, is to take a smaller approach, take a small team approach, but yet produce products in a very quick and efficient manner. And how do you do that? Well, there's a couple of things that we can learn from Steve Jobs, who recently deceased, the leader at Apple. And of course, you're probably familiar with a lot of his products, the iPhone, the iPad, very useful products. They've dominated the world market in that type of product. And you have to ask why. Why is it different? Why were they so dominant? Well, he took the approach that there's no need for top-down leadership. Leadership comes from the bottom up. And so that approach is what we talk about when we talk about agile project management, agile-minded thinking. To think a little bit differently, that leaders are not at the top, leaders are at the bottom. They're the ones that provide ideas. They provide all the force necessary to make your ideas happen, to make your ideas a reality. So when you think about that, then every person on your team is important. Every person is what in America is called a linchpin, which means it's an essential person. Every person is essential. If they're not essential, maybe that's not the right opportunity for them. So if you consider everyone on your team as essential, then your trust level goes up, your communication improves, and you get to deliver products sooner, quicker, more efficiently, and with higher quality. The bottom-up approach works very well, but sometimes there is a negative attitude to it because the thinking is that all leadership has to happen from the top down. Well, it doesn't have to happen from the top down. It can come from the bottom up. Everyone has value to bring. If you find a way to capture that value through your team, then you can deliver better products. You can deliver things that you may have thought were impossible before. But this can happen with agile-minded thinking. Another key component of agile-minded thinking is that sense of time with a project. The typical traditional thinking is you have to have a contract for your project and then deliver against that contract. Now, when Steve Jobs and his teams worked on products, they were thinking about the product, not about the contract for the product. In other words, not the scope of work, but the product, and they let the product drive their vision. So the whole approach to vision was very different. The approach to vision was let's get the best product out there. What does it take? You capture the ideas, you bring them and discuss them. You have open communications. Everyone has a voice. And with that approach, then you can significantly improve your delivery and products. The other concept that is very important is thinking that the team can make its own decisions. And the team can make its decisions. This is different for a leader to accept that they're no longer leading in the traditional sense. They are leading, but they're leading from a different perspective. They lead as coaches. They're there to coach people to perform at their best. And when they coach the people, it's like taking a soccer team and winning the World Cup. What you're doing is you are encouraging the talent on your team. You recognize the talent, you encourage the talent, you develop your talent, and ultimately you have exciting teams that can produce incredible results. So the role of the leader is changing. You need to consider that this is something that will happen, that as your companies become more competitive, as Mexico becomes more competitive in the world market, then you need to consider a product-driven approach, driven by teams of leaders. There's not a leader driving a team, it's leaders supported by a leader. So it's a slightly different concept, but I believe there's a lot of opportunity. It's a way for us as individuals to grow, for you as leaders and individuals to grow, to learn what your true potential is. One last comment I'd like to make is that every person is here for a purpose. And that may seem odd talking about it in a conference for project management, but yet every project manager has a unique vision. Every person has a unique vision. Everyone is here for a reason. So if you can be on a team and help develop that reason, then you become an incredible linchpin. You become an incredible individual with a lot to contribute, and you never have to worry. You become, in a word, indispensable, meaning the team cannot live without you because you are valuable. And those are the lessons that you learn from being an agile-minded professional. I believe there's a lot of opportunity in Mexico to continue to develop agile-minded techniques. I believe it will come, and I know PMI, Mexico City will encourage that, and the other PMI chapters will encourage that approach, the agile approach. It's catching on in the United States, but it's slow turning. But eventually, I believe that people will recognize this is new and different, but it's a very positive way of doing business. Good afternoon.